Welcome, Turnip and Egg. I'm Josh, also known as FlyFrog Online. I'm excited to have you guys here to learn about your projects because I don't know all that much about it, but it looks really cool. And I hear you're launching soon. So, yeah, tell us about yourselves and your project.
What's up? I'm Turnip. I'm pretty much like the lead. I got everyone together and said, let's make this really, really cool passion project from, pretty much, it's very similar to like the early Web 2, like Neopets, those, remember those kind of games. So we kind of all came together. And I've known Egg since pretty much I think I've known him since college. Yeah, freshman year of college. And yeah, he went the art direction. I went a different direction. And then, here we are. I was like, do you want to make this really cool project? And listen to my annoying stuff telling you to make this stuff on Photoshop. And
yeah, all of this is 100% new to me. I didn't even know what an NFT was until Turnip contacted me, so I'm kind of learning on the fly.
When was that?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
When was that you first started to learn?
I called him on the way to get coffee. On the way to get coffee in like September, I think.
Yeah, it started like late August, early September.
Yeah, cause I've been in crypto since like 2013, and heavily into crypto since 2017.
Wow,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I was new to NFTs around the same time, like in August, right when we started launching our project. So 2013 and even 17 is a lot. That's a million years in crypto years, right?
Yeah, I mean, and like NFTs weren't really popular until I would say when DeFi summer happened. So when was that? Like about a year and a half ago. Yeah, and NFTs didn't really, I don't know, no one really took them seriously at the beginning for probably good reason. People were literally just putting words and trying to sell them. Punks was really the first thing that kind of started it off, and then Bored Ape Yacht Club, and boom, here we are.
What have you been doing since 2013 in the space?
Mostly just watching it and like joining communities regarding it, because in 2013 I heard about it through World of Warcraft, and like that was a way that when people weren't playing, they were using their computer to mine it. So yeah, I didn't really start looking into it and caring really till like early 2017.
Cool. So
I know a bunch of people that made like DeFi projects, all that kind of stuff, and I've always paid attention. I've just never made anything myself. I've always been mostly a technical trader. But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So what gave you the idea? What's the genesis of this project?
Oh, man. Well, one, I was tired of trading. So, and I don't know, it's a passion thing. I was watching DeFi and I was watching a lot of, and, watching all that, how that grew. And then I started watching NFTs, and then I've been kind of watching how it just reminded me, watching crypto kind of reminds me of the same evolutions that early internet had. We're doing the same things that we did back in the day. We're just doing them all on a blockchain now. Just like how there was a bunch of crappy projects, like pets.com, right? Back in the day, like that stuff completely tanked. You had all of these really bad projects in 2017 that made absolutely no sense, overpromised and never delivered, and then they went to zero. So it's kind of similar. And with NFTs, we kind of see that like Web3 will probably move into gamifying DeFi, but pretty much through, I guess, an image that you relate to, aka a profile picture or something. So integrating those two things, kind of like what we're trying to do with having land and staking, kind of has some like reminiscing feeling of like early RuneScape, early like that kind of thing, where you have like a bot and you have land, and then you mine the resources from the land, and then in that world you can do whatever you want, right? You can be a crafter if you want, because you're mining specific resources. You mean armor smith, a weaponsmith. Maybe you want to be the guy that battles other people and buys that from somebody. Maybe you just want to farm resources. Maybe you just want to farm resources to make money. We want to create a world and an opportunity where there's a lot of things that you can do, and you play it how you want.
Going back to the beginning when we first talked about it, I think the genesis was kind of like we just wanted to do something together because we've seen a lot of things fail, but we know each other, we trusted each other, and then we kind of came up with the idea and the theme and the story together of this kind of robot that's like a toy-like thing. I think
you should have seen the early robots.
Yeah, the story we developed, I was really intrigued by. It was this idea of, as we move from the real world into the metaverse, things are going to be changing over the next several years. And we said, when humans are in the metaverse, we'll still be nostalgic for the old world or the things we loved about the old world. And that's where this idea of this robot that we could send back to look for the things that we loved about the old world and bring them into the metaverse. So they're kind of like our guides. And that was where we started. And in the beginning, we were just going to do 2D images like we started. And then as we really developed, we just kept coming up with more and more ideas. And we saw there was this potential to really grow this thing. So then we turned our attention towards building land and then gamifying it. And then, all the possibilities that could come later. So that's really what we've been focused on over the past several months. Like, where can this thing go next?
Yeah. And then like building off of what he just said, like stuff with like land and like these things are just developing as we're coming up. We're not doing this by the seat of our pants. We have like a plan, but then like a cool thing happens where Egg goes, we're talking about land and how they're all going to be connected hexagons and you're going to be able to see the landscape, right? But then he goes, well, what if there's a lost dingus? So now we're going to have 4 or 5 spots there that it's going to be pretty much like a little like a metro city. So it's like these things that all somehow cohesively end up coming together. But the story never changes.
It's really world building and storytelling, which is just so much fun.
Yeah, totally fun. The fact that you guys were talking about like knowing each other and working together really resonates with me because my wife and I started this project together. So not only do we know each other real well, but we even live together. But yeah, it's really nice to have like a partner in crime in this space.
Someone you could be honest and say,
honest with,
yeah.
Sometimes I come up with ideas with him, and he goes no, or he comes up with ideas, and I go no, or he go like sometimes I don't know that things aren't possible, right? And it's the same way like in crypto, certain things just aren't possible, at least not yet. And, I know he wants a donut land plot, and I'm against it. So, like, I can't figure how to fit donuts into crafting. Like donuts are going to look nice, it's going to look cool, but like how do I fit it in? But it also can't be boring too, right? So, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Tad Pullian stepping in here. I knew this, but I don't know if everyone else knows. But Tad Pullian and Lord of the Pond, the 2 guys on our team, they met freshman year in college as well. They're the other. Our other people on our
I think it was 2 doors down from
team.
Me, I think. Maybe even one.
We got 2 for a while.
I was in 205. What were you in?
203, I think.
Yeah, you were right next door.
Yeah, but we lived together too. I don't know if we were for like 6 years.
That was the summer.
Yeah.
Who do you have other team members?
Yes. We have one of our coder guys named Wes. And we have Misfit, who also kind of handles what I do, like storytelling and all that kind of stuff. And then we have a couple of moderators. Even Lordy's on our team now as a community manager.
Yeah, I heard that. Lordy and then Fat Danderson, one of our hop tenants in here, are like big fans of your project. Tell us more about like your community or even Lordy's role.
Say that again. Sorry.
Tell us more about your community or Lordy's role in the community because they're hopping in our pond all the time, so I'd love to hear more about the frog's involvement.
When you grow, you need people that that have that passion that you do for the project, and sometimes like we can't always be there. I mean, trust me, I haven't been sleeping a whole lot because we're getting close to the deadline. But there's certain times like I need to sleep or someone needs to take over for a while. And Lordy's always there, steps up, and it's amazing. These people that we're obviously always looking, but you just can't choose anybody for these roles, and you just don't want to have people that don't care having these positions of essentially power, which is kind of difficult to give people sometimes. So you really have to trust the people that you empower these things with, and when they're passionate, you see that they're always there, always showing up every day and excited, and about the project. Or like Lordy was amazing because when people would come in, when we'd have like a rush of people coming in trying to sign up for a whitelist or something, Lordy would be there directing them where to go. And those are the kind of people that you want to grow a community,
It takes a special kind of skill to be able to answer the same question thousands of times.
True. Where do I go? Where do I go? It's like the same place, It's like BlizzCon.
Well, everything you said resonates with me about all that, and also Lordy. So, yeah. What I want to know more about the artwork and how you started creating it, because I'm the artist on this project, so I'd love to hear more about like the 2D stuff and then how you went into 3D and what like tools you use.
Well, the 2D, when you finally came up with the bot, it took a while. The original bots were horrific, but that's how you get to the point.
I liked them. They weren't horrific, but it wasn't right for the project.
Yeah, it wasn't right.
At first, we started. We saw a lot of other NFTs that were going out, and they really were capitalizing on just how simple they were. So we started there, and then we were like, this looks a lot like what's already out there. So what can we do that's different? So then we've really just like went ham on the details and started building the images out and the backgrounds and the textures just to give them or set them apart from a lot of what we've seen. So all the art was created in a combination of Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. It was all vectors because we were doing this for the first time. I wasn't sure like what resolution, what size, what file formats. So by doing it in Illustrator, it kept everything vectorized so we could scale up or down without losing any image quality. And I know that's like the bane of Turnip's existence because everything is so high res that the files started to get like
it's 25 gigs of files.
Yeah,
and that's after I cut them down because they were originally a 3,300 by 3,300, which I think they're now 2,500 by 2,500 because I don't know. I needed to cut it off somewhere.
So there was a little bit of learning curve there, like file setup to make sure that like in the end we don't end up with these huge files. So we're kind of going through the same thing now that we've moved into 3D. So we started out doing a lot of work in Maya, and then we kind of transferred over to Blender, which is new software for me that I'm kind of learning as we go and rendering out images. So we're now starting to just discover like what file formats, what size, how big things need to be, how can we layer in 3D. Obviously layering in 2D is super simple, and you generate with your alpha masks for transparency, and that makes all the layering and the compilation really easy. But in 3D, this is something new that we're figuring out, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
What software
basically concepts? I don't know, concepts. I'd literally send him things in Photoshop of like, a flamethrower and put it on top of the bot and that kind of stuff.
Some of their stuff were in Paint, I think, too. Just like
a couple of them were in Paint. Yeah.
I notice you have like some of the robots in like toy packaging. I'm a toy inventor, like by trade, so I was intrigued by that. Like, tell me more about that.
Yeah, that was the idea. We started out saying we want to do some kind of toy because we wanted them to be something that like you could own, but also this tie back to childhood. So that's where we came up with this idea of a robot. So it's kind of like a mix of Buzz Lightyear with Eve from WALL-E and some Gremlin thrown in there. So
and then Funko Pop body, pretty much.
Right, and then we wanted to be able to do something to add a rarity to it. So we said, well, what if some of them were still in their packaging? And then that's where the idea, the toy box, came from.
Yep.
Is that like? Is that part of the story? Like, are they actually toys?
Yes.
See, that's the point. Yeah, they are. I don't know. There's like a yes and a no to that. Yes, they are, but also no, they're not. Because in their world, they're not, right?
Mm-hmm.
But outside looking in, yes, they are. It's just like Egg just said, like the Buzz Lightyear, right? Like Buzz Lightyear doesn't know he's a toy, but he is a toy.
That's a good analogy.
So the Dingbot universe that we're building out for 3D and the game is kind of like in story of the Dingbot, but then the Dingbots that are in their boxes are like what we would own as humans.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of this dual universe that we're building.
Cool. Tell me more about like the 3D files, like for the robots and also the land.
So we're still in some concept phasing for the land. We're trying to figure out what we call our land ding plots. So the Dingbots will live on the Dingbots. And we kind of settled on a concept for what our basic tray for each plot of land is going to look like, which we really love. It's like this hexagonal shape with these plugs, because each one will plug into each other so that they could power each other, and then they'll have some lighting. We're building all of that out in Blender right now, and then we're kind of figuring out what the parcel of land that inhabits each tray is going to look like. So that's the phase we're in right now. And each plot will be based on what the resource is that you can mine from that plot. So some of them will be mountainous, some of them will be like farmland, some of them will be urban, city centers.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to change one of the permissions to let people in a little more. Cool. Yeah, I've actually never used Blender. I'm always, all the CAD I use is for like 3D printing products, so I'm always intrigued by but like the more like amorphous sculpting forms. The robots you're making look really cool. What's your background in using Blender or other CAD programs? Like, do you have like a day, whatever you're willing to share? Like, do you have a day job, or like have you done a lot of 3D renderings and stuff?
Yeah, it's interesting because I always wanted to be an artist, but I think I kind of got scared off early on about going to art school and worried about finding jobs. So I ended up going into engineering, and through engineering, I really learned how to use all of this software. So a lot of CAD software, like obviously AutoCAD and Revit and Maya and 3D Studio Max and SketchUp and Rhino. That's what I use for work mostly. I do a lot of architectural work for theme parks. And then by using that software and learning how to use it for work, I just started as a side project learning how to do more creative stuff and more freeform stuff and some animation. And so Blender is new to me too. I just started learning it a few months ago, but it's all the same principles. It's just learning the hotkeys basically that are different, and where all the buttons are. But once you learn one, I think it's really easy to transfer your skills over to another. And then YouTube tutorials are really just the best and easiest way to do it.
Cool. What have you been getting good feedback, like from your community or in Discord or Twitter? Like, what do people think about the artwork?
They love it.
Are there like any favorite? Are there any like favorite robots or like attributes that the community has, or even that you have?
Yeah, we have a couple. I forget who it is. What's his name? Starts with a W, but he really, really, really wants a pink Dingbot with the transparent bunny ears. I don't know why, but he's obsessed with getting this Dingbot.
I love the bunny ears too. I
like them too. But there's a lot of cool stuff. Like, we were coming up with, flamethrowers from like the Boring Company, Tesla, like trying to bring real life applications. And
yeah, there's a lot of pop culture references, in the most lenient way that we can without getting into trouble. So like, you'll be able to like understand what the references are, I think, as you go through it. I really love our glowing sneakers, because they're probably the hardest ones to draw, to fit sneakers on. I mean, I'll say in creating the art, the hardest thing was, we figured out what the body of the bot is going to look like first, and then I had to figure out how to fit all of these accessories on this strange body shape that we came up with. So drawing clothes and sneakers and hats to fit on this thing that has a huge head and huge feet was pretty difficult. So the ones that we ended up using, I think, all look really cool. And a lot of them haven't been revealed yet. And when we do our reveal, I think people will be surprised at what they get.
Oh, cool. Is there, what's like unique or new about your project, or what you think is, at least? Because we're always coming up with cool new things to do in the future for our project, and then eventually find out that someone else has done something slightly similar. So I don't know if there's anything there's so many people doing so much cool stuff, but is something that like sets you apart, or you think that is different from a lot of other projects?
Yeah, I think we have that nostalgic. We were there when Neopets and all these things came out, and why they became so popular, and why pop culture really picked them up. And I think this is a really unique opportunity to kind of not copy it, but reinvent it in a way, where you're gamifying things, and you can actually make money in doing this kind of stuff. Because you think about it, one of the big things whenever you used all these accounts like a Tamagotchi or Neopets or like Alien Adoption HC or even like World of Warcraft or RuneScape, is that you couldn't really ever sell the things that you got very easily. And an ecosystem with NFTs and coins that go with them, you can list things the next day. You can, the resources that you're making, like maybe someone can make an income off of this. So it's very, how are we different? Nobody's really doing what we're trying to do, as far as, people can stake things, but like when there's an entire universe created, no one's really done that yet. The closest you have right now is maybe Bridge World with Treasure DAO. But I think there's a lot of untapped areas that we're exploring that we can really, try and make popular.
I also think, just like on a basic level, when you look at our NFTs and our images, we tried to do things, like I said, to set us apart from a lot of things you've seen already. So obviously people are customizing their character in their projects, but we try to add a lot of details to the backgrounds and to everything else happening around the character. So you'll notice in all of our images, there's a static TV in the distance. And when we release or reveal all the NFTs, you'll see that on some of the TVs, in the background, there are images or hidden objects. We've got silhouettes of pets and animals or dead bodies and all these random things happening in the background. So it's not just the customization of the Dingbot itself that makes them unique from each other. It's also what's happening in the environment of each image. And I haven't seen that in a lot of NFT projects yet.
Cool. Yeah, Tadpole's talking about my tadpoles. I found that when I drew the tadpoles, is like the frogs originally had just blank backgrounds, but my tadpoles, like, there's so much fun space to fill up in that little square. And the possibilities are like endless with it, right?
Mm-hmm. And that was really fun too, because when when it randomizes the mix, and then you see what your Dingbot looks like, what the accessories it has, and then what's happening in the background, you can almost invent your own story about like what happened in this image. So if you get a Dingbot holding a flamethrower and there's a dead guy on the floor in the background, right there, that's a story that's unique to your NFT, and you could imagine, what went on in this image to get to this point.
Well, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of fun, story-driven world-building stuff with this project, which just sounds fun to me. I mean, I just love projects and often go into projects that just look fun and have a fun vibe. So, it sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
I think one of our guide rules was like, let's not take this too seriously. Like, let's just have it and make it weird for weird's sake. And I think people will love this.
Perfect. Love it. What else? What else should I be asking you? Anything I missed or that you want to talk about?
I don't know. I don't think I have
any questions. Any questions in the pond? Type them in the pond if you guys have any questions, and I'll ask.
Yeah, tell us a bit about your project.
Yeah, and what software you guys are using? How are you building your images?
Oh yeah, our project was pretty. It seems like you guys have been working on this for a while, and really, building out the world. For us, like my wife and I just did this. We just wanted to start we didn't really do much research or looking at other projects. We just jumped in and did it. So it took us like 3 weeks working it at night after putting the kids to bed. I just drew everything like by hand. They're all like pixel files, and then my wife made them into the 10K NFT collection. And we just jumped in and did it, and then found all these amazing people to join our team and to join our community that have helped us grow into a really fun project over time.
Awesome.
Oh, I am getting a question here from...
You settled on a frog as your character?
Oh yeah, we were sitting around the dinner table with the kids, just like drawing some animals, and the frog. As soon as I drew it, we were like, "That's it. It's funny. It's goofy. That's it." Yeah, pretty simple. But oh, fabulous! We got a question. Let's see. What is the governance structure of their team? How is the team structured between finance, art, community, etc.?
Regarding what? Sorry.
Any clarification on that? Fabulous.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to know all the detail. Oh, well, maybe you don't have to answer the question if you don't want. Maybe they want to know the makeup of your structure. Oh yeah, they want. I think Fabulous wants to know like how you're, how you've structured your team. I guess you have a bunch of different team members, but you don't have to answer if you don't want.
I mean, we have a developer, we have 2 artists right now, and 2 I think 3 community managers. 3 right now, and then I think me. Yeah. And Misfit.
Cool. Yeah, we started off my project. We started off small, just my wife and I, and then we brought Rizzle, who's been in the crypto space for a long time, and Chupacabra onto the team, and then we've just grown to. Our next thing is we're bringing on and including and leveraging our most our most active and amazing community members to help us grow. So. Yeah, it's cool that you guys already have this like big team in place, and I'm excited to see you guys grow.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry, you go.
No, I was going to say, I'm super excited too to see this thing go from just the 2 or 3 of us.
Yeah, 3 people in a Telegram, all sending photoshopped images, just random things to somehow we ended up here. So,
all right, you did answer Fabulous's question. What's Strawberry's question? Horde or Alliance?
I played Alliance, but I mean, yeah. Then I went Horde for a bit once they started re-releasing classic servers or vanilla servers. But yeah, I was originally Alliance.
Right answer. Awesome. Well, I think this is about a good time, half an hour. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about, or we can wrap it up soon?
Well, if anyone here hasn't checked us out, check us out. It's just you can go to the Discord and go to Dingbots, and we're Dingbots NFT on Twitter, and yeah.
And you're launching
something cool. So
when are you launching? Today is Friday. When are you guys launching?
Oh, good question. I think it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. So we got the weekend, and then oh man, are you guys excited?
And then bam, nervous but excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, how are you feeling? This is a good opportunity to ask you. How are you feeling right now, a few days before?
Obviously nervous. You want everything to go right. You want everything, to be in place. You even want the crypto markets to stay relatively stable. So there's a lot that's in your control, but there's also a lot that's out of your control.
Yep. Yeah, and I want people to be happy with what they mint when reveals happen.
Yeah,
and is excited and pleased with what they get.
Oh, I'm sure that'll happen. Yeah, cool. It's I've been through this whole process, and it's just going to be a mix of emotions, but my advice, have fun. Just have fun with it. People are going to love the art. I know it. So.
Yeah, it's like all you can do, really. I mean, and there's stuff out of your control. There's only so much you can do, and as long as you're proud of what you're putting out there and what you're, obviously we're also still creating everything. It's, yeah, I don't know. We're nervous, man, but we're excited.
Cool. So for the mint. Go ahead.
People see things. Go and write your ideas down, and it might influence what we end up doing.
Yeah, true.
So what's the robots are the first thing that people can mint on Tuesday, right? Like, what's the price and what's the collection size?
0.045 for the whitelist and 0.055 for normal mint. The collection size is the 9,999 because we wanted the reason that we did. I know how everybody did 10K collections, but we really wanted that number for a reason because when we first came up with something, we're like, how do we turn 3D bots or 2D bots into 3D bots? And we're like, what if we included some sort of incentivization, for almost like a token burn, where you take 3 bots and you create 1 3D bot? I don't know if we're still going to do that, but that was the original reason for the collection size. Because 9,999 under perfect circumstances turns into 3,333, right? But you also want enough bots to make a game viable. So like there's this delicate balance of, yeah, this mechanic is cool, but we need a higher original mint in case we went that direction. So we had a little bit of flexibility.
Cool. Well, I heard you guys are going to give something away.
Yeah, we're going to give out 2 Dingbots.
Ooh, awesome. Do you want to do it? I saw you did something really fun looking, this like a marble thing on Twitch.
I'm going to be doing a marbles live stream, so if you could send your community there, it's going to be in about a few hours. I'm going to do what do you call it? Yeah, pretty much do marble shoutcasting. Go a little bit crazy. Marbles is a game. We have a little marble. It goes down a track, and whoever wins a Dingbot.
It looked fun. I watched you do it. Shoutcasting, that's what you call it? That's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and you should hear him at the end of the stream, what his voice sounds like.
Destroy it.
Oh, man. Well, that sounds fun. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll send some of our, give us some info, and we'll send some of our Frog Army members over to your marbles thing to win some Dingbots in the giveaway later.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Drink a lot of water before there for your voice.
Yeah, some honey, some lemon and honey.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, guys, for hopping on here. It was great to hear about your project. I'm excited to see how it goes next week. And I've been recording it. Hopefully it worked. And the rest of your community who weren't able to be here can hear more about it. And same with ours.
Cool.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. And I don't know, do you guys have a saying? Should I say ding ding?
Yeah, sure. That works. Dingbot's going to be living on some ding plots.
Dingbots on ding. See you on your ding plot.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
All right, cheers.